So let's move into kind of my thoughts overall for SEC play, and then we will give a slight preview and prediction for Oklahoma. So overall, when we're looking at SEC play, I think that there's a few things that you have to consider. I think that you have to consider that first and foremost, the SEC may very well be the best conference in college basketball that we've ever seen, right? A lot has been made about the fact that the SEC is setting to potentially going to break the NCAA all-time record for most teams ever in the NCAA tournament. That was 11 by the Big East. I think that is a real possibility. I think that there is a real possibility that the SEC gets 12 or 13 teams in. Most projections say that if you're at 8 and 10 or better, you're just about a lock to get in due to how good everyone's strength of schedule is going to be and how good everyone's net ranking already is. So I think that there is a real possibility that no matter your record, as long as you are 8 and 10 or better, you're pretty much a lock. It would not shock me if some 7-11 teams get in. For reference, if you are 7-11, currently KenPom projects that 14 teams are going to be 7-11 or better. I don't think the KenPom projections are perfect, but that just gives you an idea as to what a prediction metric looks at, how many teams potentially are going to hit that number. I do not think 7-11 would feel confident to make the tournament, but I think that there is a real possibility that 7-11 does make the tournament, especially for certain rosters. Every SEC team currently is in double-digit wins heading into conference play, and that is not something that you're going to hear about a lot, and it's just an absolutely incredible conference showing in the non-conference. The stats are off the charts, right? So when I'm looking at, conference play, I think that Alabama's goal when it comes to the SEC conference in tournament this year, the goal needs to be a top 4 seed, right? Obviously, the team goal is going to be to win the conference, right? But a realistic expectation should be a top 4 seed, right? A top 4 seed in the SEC tournament. Would love to have a share or piece of the title, but realistically, top 4 seed. And in my mind, realistically, 14-4, 13-5. Right? I'm looking at you need to win your 9 home games and win more home games or win more away than you lose. Right? Go 5-4 in the away slate. If you go 4-5, it would be okay, but win all your home games, go over 500 in the away, and you finish at 14-4. Right? I think it's completely realistic. I think it's completely possible. If you had to give me, a guess, like, hey, if you had to give me a few games that you think will be tough for Alabama on the road, I think that Texas A&M game in 2 weeks at Texas A&M on a Saturday, I think that's one that you potentially could circle. I think that Kentucky game the next week on the road, I think that one you potentially could circle. I think Texas could be tricky on the road in Austin. And then I think that Tennessee and Auburn to close out the year, the back-to-back on the road, I think that those two are going to be obviously tricky. Now, that's not to say the home game against Florida is not going to be easy. The home game against Kentucky, home game against Auburn. None of these are going to be easy, but in my opinion, you got to defend your home court, right? So I'm going to feel confident in our ability to do so. I think Nate's done a great job of that the whole time he's been here. And so I'm going to say you defend your home court, and those are just a few of the games. If you had to have me circle, 5 or 6 of the games that, I have my eye on that I'm really, I wouldn't say concerned about, but definitely going to keep a very close eye on. Those are probably the games that I would circle. Like I said, personally, I'm going to say probably a 14-4. You win all your home games and you go 5-4 on the road. If you had to have me pick today, I think I probably say Texas A&M, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Auburn, all on the road, meaning that we split with Kentucky and split with Auburn. Us each, home team winning the game. I think realistically that's possibly what happens. Could we win all of those games? Sure, right? I don't think any team is going 18-0, right? I don't think any team in the SEC is going 18-0. Is it possible? Sure. I don't think it's happening, right? I think that 15-3 to 14-4 probably is pretty close to a share of the title. Would it shock me if Auburn was able to go 16-2? No, not exactly. I don't think it would truly shock me. But I think realistically, 15-3, 14-4 is probably a share to winning the conference. 13-5 even could if teams start beating each other up. I could see 13-5 being a share of the title, right? This is going to be a very, very good conference season, and we will see when it comes. I think a few teams are maybe slightly overrated because they have some poor non-conference schedules. Obviously, they've won all their games, but I think the non-conference slates of some teams are artificially inflating how good they are, and we'll see when they actually come to conference play. But if I had to give a guess, I would say probably 15-3, 14-4 wins the conference. Like I said, my prediction for Alabama would probably be somewhere in the 14-4, 13-5 range if I'm guessing today on January the 2nd. So that's my prediction as it relates to the conference play. I do think Alabama's in a very good shot to potentially win the conference. I think the Alabama's in a very good shot to obviously compete for the lead in the conference. I think the Alabama's in a very good shot to compete for a 1 or 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and that the SEC, probably gets 12 or 13 teams in the NCAA tournament to set a record for the most ever. I think that those things are, if everyone performs to the level that we expect, then that's kind of a foregone conclusion at this point. I know most bracket predictors are saying around 13 teams currently, with 14 being a possibility, but not super likely unless everyone just beats each other up. Right.